Hello YouTube, it is Brad and Travis, and today we're back for another comparison video. We're doing some putters. What are we doing?
We are doing the Axiom Envy
and the Westside Shield. Enjoy. Alright, so for the rims on these, you can kind of see the shield, which is over here, is a little bit more round throughout the rim, whereas you've got a little bit more of an angle here. The Envy is also a little bit sharper than the shield here. As far as the rim depth, the shield is definitely a little bit deeper than the Envy, and then they're both pretty flat. All right, so start with the Envy. The two plastics we had were Neutron and Neutron Soft. The flights were pretty much identical. It's a very straight disc. It goes out and it has a little bit of fade at the end, but it's super straight. If you put it on an Annie, it'll hold it. It might fight out a little bit at the end. A hyzer, you might flip it up, but it's probably just going to hyzer out. If you throw it flat, though, it's got a ton of glide. I was really surprised with it. I used one when I was first starting out, but I was using it as a putter, and I just didn't really like the feel of that slick plastic. And that's still true. When I'm using it as a putter, I prefer more of like a tacky plastic. I could definitely see people, if you like this style, that slicker plastic to putt, this would be great because it is a very straight disc. All right, so the shield. The plastics we had the BT Medium, we had the Tournament, and we had the VIP. The VIP, I think, was a little bit more stable. It was very similar to the Tournament, though, but the BT Medium was definitely less stable. It was a little bit more beat in because it was one that we putt with a little bit, but it was significantly less stable. It's a weird flight. It's less high-speed stable, I think, than the Envy, but it dumps a little bit harder. So you're going to get a little bit more of an S pretty regularly. It's not as straight as the Envy, but it feels pretty good in the hand. It's not as glidey as the Envy, which if you're not looking for something super glidey, then I would definitely recommend it. As a putter, it's kind of a stable putter, because like I said, it's got that high-speed turn, but at the end it dumps off hard. So for far putts, you've got to kind of adjust a little bit more, but I'd say inside the circle, it's awesome.
All right, the Axiom Envy, great disc. The numbers on it, I would say, are 3 speed, 4 glide, 0 turn, and then 1 fade. Very straight and very glidey. It doesn't seem to have that slow speed stability as the shield does, so it just stays straight. So you throw it on an Annie, it holds the Annie, and then ends up kind of laying, flat. Throw it flat, it will end up fading out a little bit at the end, but it's such a straight disc. And then hyzer, it'll hold the hyzer. You have to really rip on it to make it flip up and have a nice straight flight, but really you've got to rip it to do that. It's great off the tee, like I said. When it comes to forehands, another really good disc for that. Touch forehands, it's really nice. Do not full power this. It's great for little things like that. Just a little hyzer flip, it pops up flat, and then hyzers out at the end. Very straight for that as well. When it comes to putting, not the best putter. I don't like the feel of it. It's got a sharp rim, and the plastics aren't the best. on to the Westside Shield. Numbers wise, I'd give it a speed of 3, glide of 3, minus 0.5 turn, and about 1 to 2 fade. It's got a little bit of slow speed fade. It definitely a little bit more than the Envy. And the hand feels great. It's a little deeper of a rim like the Envy, but it's a little less glidey. Once it slows down, it's definitely going to want to dump left for your right-hand backhand player. Off the tee, great. You can stand still. It's going to just go flat, or it's going to go straight. You can hyzer flip these ones a little easier than the Envy. Annie, it'll just ride it out. There's a hyzer flip and ends up fading out. It's tough to see, but it does. Forehand, there's just a little upshot I was trying to show you. I do that a lot during my rounds. Just a big Annie with a putter, getting around trees and things like that. Forehand, don't crank on it. It's not meant for that. It's just for the touch forehand. Putting, I like the plastics better, first of all, with the Trilogy lineup. This was my putter at one time, so I had some experience behind the putter. It's just, it's a good clean release with it.
Okay, so it's recap time. So I have had both of these discs in my bag at separate times. I started with the Envy.
I did not know that.
And I didn't like it as a putter. Like I said in the video, it's just too slick. The Shield I used as my putter for a while. I just recently changed, because like I said, for further putts, I just had to aim so far to the left.
He's a lefty.
So to compensate for that fade, I switched to something a little bit less stable. But for this, I'm gonna go with the Envy because I don't like I didn't like having to aim so far. I didn't like the stability, the low speed stability of the Shield, and the Envy it's just really straight. I wouldn't use it as a putter, but as something off the tee or as an approach disc, it's just super straight. So I really like the Envy. What about you?
I went for all-around disc, not just throwing putter, to be fair. So I went with the Shield. It's just great off the tee. You can kind of manipulate this disc a little bit more. You can hyzer flip it. It's just a little bit less high-speed stable, so it gives you a little bit more options off the tee. As the Envy, it's just a very straight disc. You throw it flat, it's flat. This felt better in my hand with actual putting. Cleaner releases. I putted with this disc for a while. I also had this disc in my bag, the Envy in my bag, right when I started, took it out. Anyways, either or for throwing putters, but I'd say if you're going to try and putt with it as well, I would go Shield. These are great discs for every genre of player, I guess you could say. Beginner, novice, pro.
Yeah, everybody will find a use for it, because they are both very...
Yeah.
They're just a very useful disc.
Beginners, I wouldn't putt with it. I would throw it. This is a good disc to pick out, if you're having issues of release angle, because whatever you put these on, it just holds it. So, for that.
Yeah. I think anybody could use them. Both of them are pretty awesome discs. It's really just a matter of what spot you're trying to fill with them. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Like the video, comment down below, let us know what you're thinking of the videos, let us know if you want to see anything in particular. That's about it. Thanks for watching.